So Corey.
What's up, Mike?
Oh shit!
Whoa.
That's gonna add some.
Dragon just flew by.
You were talking the other week about movies that I really enjoy that you hate, or maybe not hate, but highly dislike.
Yeah.
Is there any movie that is widely considered or widely loved by most people that you just absolutely hate?
Oh, I think so.
Let's skip Lord of the Rings. We've already said that too much. I don't want to get mad again.
I just want to say I don't hate Lord of the Rings. I just think it's overrated.
Fair enough. So anyway, we're going to go with hate movies.
Yeah.
Movies that we hate.
You're probably not going to like a few of these.
I honestly did not have time to look things up, so I'm just going to wing it.
Yeah, just kind of.
Going to wing it, but I'm going to play off you, so.
Generally well-loved or liked movies that just don't do anything for me whatsoever.
I'm going to let you rant and maybe interject every now and then.
First, I want to talk about the 80s. There's so much in the 80s that just can't stand.
You know what it is? The 80s was like the first generation. People born and who grew up in the 80s were the first ones to really feel nostalgic.
Yeah.
They had things that really made their childhood great. Not that the 70s, 60s, and 50s, their childhoods were bad, but in the 80s, that's really the first time that a lot of things were made specifically for kids, at least that I've noticed.
Yeah.
So
and that actually could just lead right into the first one, which would be Back to the Future. I really don't like Back to the Future. There's too much Power of Love. Like, I watched that movie the first time.
Power of Love?
The song that plays
the song.
over and over and over again, like 4 different times.
See,
the whole movie.
didn't even... I mean, I know what song he's talking about, but
the Huey Lewis song?
I just kind of...
Like, I understand why people like it. It's a well-made movie. It's got enough going on for it. It just doesn't do anything for me. I just don't enjoy watching it.
Kind of talking about that whole 50s era, like, because they go back to the 50s, a movie that most people love. I don't think you might like it, I'm not sure, but that I loathe with every fiber of my being.
It's a lot of fibers.
Grease.
Ooh, yeah. I hate that movie.
Now, Laura and Emily, my sisters, you're the reason I hate it. I used to tolerate it. I never really loved it. I used to tolerate it. And then, of course, my sisters had to play it every gosh darn day, almost breaking the VHS tape. And because, this was the 90s when like most households only had one TV, what was I going to do, play outside? I did play outside sometimes, but they played it too much, they sang the songs too much, and it's got a really terrible message.
It's really bad.
Hey, change everything about you for the person you kind of like and probably will forget once you're graduated college.
And sing in high school. It'll make you popular.
High School Musical taught us that.
Ugh. Yeah, I watched a Grease sing-along version inside a theater, and it was dreadful. First of all, nobody was singing, but the actual audio track had people singing in the background, so it sounded like people were singing.
That's to encourage people to sing.
But I got up and went to the bathroom and looked back, and I'm like, no one's actually singing.
That's terrible.
It was awful.
Was it the one that was put on TV not too long ago?
I think so.
Ugh.
Horror movies.
I hate a lot of horror
movies. A lot of these, like, iconic 70s, 80s horror movies. Got your Nightmares on Elm Street, Poltergeist, which I just watched recently. They're bad.
They're really bad.
So bad. Like,
again, it's the nostalgia factor.
Yeah,
they watched
it really
when
is.
they were kids, and because you're a kid, you get scared easily, and they're like, oh, it's so great. And then they try to say that it's great when they're adults. Like, no.
Yeah.
Iconic, yes. Good, no.
No, not at all.
I don't even know how they became iconic.
I can see with Nightmare on Elm Street, it's just Freddy Krueger.
Yeah.
He's the only good thing that came out of it, and Johnny Depp, I guess.
But, like, Jason Voorhees doesn't even show up until the second one, as the hockey mask Jason Voorhees. At least, I think it's the second one, too.
Yeah.
The first one's pretty
it's not
decent.
The first one. The first one is his mother.
Yeah, the first one's pretty decent. It's poorly made because it was low budget.
Yeah.
But it's actually pretty interesting, and then...
I think it's mainly
Jason Voorhees kind of ruins it, in my opinion.
Yeah. I think mainly what makes those movies unlikable for me is how much they stretch them out. Like, usually the first movie in those series are at least okay.
Yeah.
With the exception of Nightmare on Elm Street.
Other than Johnny Depp dying, it's pretty bad.
That was pretty great. But
Although I will say it had some pretty ingenuitive things,
It
like the stretching of the wall and all that. It was pretty ingenuitive as far as its effects go for the time.
the synthesizer music, though.
Synthesizer. There's
But-
another one.
A movie that will probably get me into a lot of trouble. Princess Bride.
I love it, but I also see where you're coming from.
See, my thing is, I've watched all these movies recently. So I didn't watch them
Well,
as
there's
a
your
kid.
problem. You gotta watch them when you're young.
I didn't get introduced to them in a special way. I just kind of watched them.
Another movie that everyone seems to like, and I hate, and I don't understand why people like it. Titanic.
Ugh.
The last hour when everyone's dying is good.
I mean,
But why do you take so long to get there? I don't care about Jack and Rose, their fake relationship. I want to know about the real people of the Titanic that actually... What about the baker who got drunk while the ship was sinking, threw women into lifeboats because they were too afraid. They thought it was safer to be on a sinking ship
there's
than to be on a lifeboat.
way more interesting stories of the actual people who
Yeah,
survived.
exactly. And the baker I'm talking about, when you know how like it became inverted and went down, he stood once it was inverted. He stood on the gate and just slowly, never got his hair wet the entire time.
That's amazing.
Tell those stories.
There was one woman. She was on the Titanic, the Poseidon, and some other one that sank. And
Molly Brown,
I think so. And she
She's-
survived all three.
Kathy Bates
And is-
plays Molly Brown, but
Does
like
she?
they don't
But why did
talk
it-
about her
yeah.
too much. Like she's there. She's there for people to be like, oh, it's Molly Brown, but they never talk about it. They talk about this fake romance that never happened.
It's people who met in like 2 days.
Yeah. And they say it's based on these actual people, but those people were on their honeymoon and died while they were on, or one of them, I don't remember if they both died or one of them died. And like the only thing that's even remotely close to this story is that two people were in love.
That's really a lot of James Cameron movies, though.
James Cameron's a terrible writer. He's brilliant with technology and camera work, but he can't write a story to save his life.
No.
He's like
Avatar's another one.
Avatar is
Everyone loves that
Everyone loves Avatar. It was the most overrated movie of the past 20 years.
It's such an average movie, I can't even get over it. It looks beautiful.
Looks beautiful, yeah.
But it's every nature is good.
Fern
military
Gully
is
dances with
bad,
wolves.
Pocahontas. Every single movie just combined into one.
Yeah, with weird
Aliens.
ponytail sex.
Yeah. Recently, I've been seeing a lot of Deadpool. I really didn't like Deadpool.
I thought it was okay.
It didn't do anything.
The thing is, yes, it was funny. Yes, the character of Deadpool is entertaining, but it's really just like every other superhero movie, just with like
comedy,
commentary, and it's like, again, I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
It's one of Glenn's. Glenn would be having a hissy fit right now because that was one of his favorite movies. I did enjoy it, but it's
you take out the comedy for me because I didn't find any of that funny, except for maybe one or two jokes.
what he said. What he said.
Oh, that kind of reminds me of Independence Day. Don't ask me why.
The first one?
Yeah.
I liked it a lot when I was a kid. I haven't seen it since because Danny Lingenfelder borrowed my VHS tape and lost it. I want it back, Danny. Oh, this person needs to shoot. Oh, no one likes that one.
Yeah, I don't think anybody likes it as an actual
Sorry,
movie.
it says the Roland Emmerich Godzilla movie, which is the one with Matthew Broderick.
That movie is awful, but I love it.
Yes. It's guilty pleasure.
It's a lot of fish.
A lot of people hate Lost World Jurassic Park too. I like it though. It's bad, but I like it.
Yeah, there's a difference between being able to identify a bad movie you know is bad that you still like.
That's
than
like
just
this, like
saying a movie is good, even though it's really not.
Suicide Squad fans. You can like Suicide Squad, but it is objectively a bad movie. Like, there's nothing... Well, there's not nothing good. There's very little that's good about it. It is objectively a bad movie. Yes, there can be objectively a bad movie. You can still enjoy it. I like some of the Medea movies. I'll admit it. I know they're terrible, but I enjoy them.
Hey.
And it takes an adult to know that, guess what? Other people's opinions don't really matter when it comes to a movie you like. But also know that it's bad.
That's true.
The first time I watched it, and and I understand, again, it was the circumstances I watched it in. I hated Raging Bull. I don't know if I still do. I have to rewatch it, like I said. But I was just not in the right mindset to watch it. I was by myself, but not in the right mindset, too tired, what have you. But I hated Raging Bull.
That's interesting.
See, that's why even movies you hate, you should rewatch if you remember there being enough for you to rewatch it.
Right.
Like, I know the acting in Raging Bull is top notch. It's obviously Martin Scorsese. So it's movies like that I feel a rewatch is warranted. Thanks for watching that video. If you liked it, thumbs up. Didn't like it, thumbs down. Subscribe, see what we're doing. Comment down below what movies you hate that are widely loved.
Or if you love these movies that we really hate.
Yeah. That's the thing that can happen too. Below our faces, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Follow us on that. Find out what we're doing, all that fun stuff. Over there, that's going to be our last Thursday's video, which was trilogies. We kind of get into a little argument in the beginning. It's kind of funny. I thought it was funny.
It was funny.
At the time, I was really not mad, but annoyed. And then I watched it. It was pretty funny.
We'll get there one of these days.
Yeah, we'll get there. Over there, that's going to be our last week's review. Which, again, we still don't know what it is. We haven't decided yet. We did Trailer Tuesday, then we did this, then we're going to pick. 2016, you need to be better. You need to be better. Bye.